Welcome to What You Really Want to Know. I am attorney Amanda Shaffer. I have something very exciting to talk about today. Before I get there, quick reminder, don't forget to like us and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you are watching. Hopefully you can hear me. Let me know if you can't, please. And this is especially important for those on replay. And if you find this video to be helpful or know someone who may, please go ahead and hit that share button. So why am I so excited about today? Well, any lawyer or individual out there who has ever called the USCIS customer service number, that 800 number, should be excited. They know the pain we go through when listening to that music and just waiting and waiting. And then told that you'll be called back in like 40 hours or something ridiculous. And then you miss the call. So, after all these years, fingers crossed, all goes well, we finally have a way to schedule Infopass appointments online. And it's a big hallelujah because, like I said, this is something that I didn't understand why it didn't exist before. And then once COVID happened, trying to get an in-person appointment was like impossible. The things some of my clients have gone through to get these in-person appointments is just sad. I mean, it's sad that our government is so far behind technologically. So what can you get an Infopass appointment? What is an Infopass appointment? Infopass appointment, very simply, is an in-person appointment with the USCIS officer that you request. It's not as opposed to an interview where they're telling you got to come in. Only in very limited situations can you get an Infopass appointment. That's always been the case. Used to be, you could also do if your case was taking too long, but that is no longer the case. They won't. It's hard to even submit a request online these days because they put the date so far out. But what you can get an Infopass appointment for is one is called an ADIT stamp or an I-551 stamp. That is the stamp for permanent residents or conditional residents. So people who lose their green cards or conditional residents whose green card is expired while their condition to remove petitions on the residency is pending. Like to get the stamps because they feel better coming back in. I don't know yet if they're going to give out those appointments. But for example, I had a client who filed, who got her 2-year green card, lost it. And she was, it took her forever to get the stamp. She even filed to replace it, still waiting for the replacement, had to file the I-751. This poor girl has been she finally got an appointment like 20 days before the green card expires. So for someone like her, the reason they gave her the appointment was because she needed to prove to work that she had a green card, and they weren't, even though we can get into that in another discussion, but she appeared to have the correct documentation because you don't necessarily have to have the physical green card. They were giving her a hard time, so she got the stamp. There's all different reasons people get the stamp, but the main one is you lost your green card. You didn't get your new one yet. You got to travel abroad, right? Second reason, emergency advance parole. That is for people who have a pending eligible application for advance parole. So in general, asylum, any type of green card application, asylum applicant, they need to go abroad and they file for the advance parole, but because USCIS takes so much time processing, by the time they process it, the emergency's over. I've seen clients go through family members dying while they waited, like, horrible things. So in the past, you could you file the I-131, you get the receipt notice, then you go in, you make the Infopass appointment, you say, here's proof of my emergency. Can I please get, the advance parole now? And then that ability was kind of taken away with COVID. So it looks like we're able to get those again. And then there's not just 3 things, there's other things too in certain situations, which if you're not sure if you can file for an Infopass, Facebook and YouTube, our contact information scrolling across the bottom of the screen. And on Instagram, you can go to our bio page and find it there. But essentially, the third main type of category they're talking about is when you get a grant from an immigration judge. And I believe they just mean when it relates to a green card, but it could mean when you have, and I'm hoping, when you have your trouble getting your file transferred back to USCIS, which we often see. But what I mean by that is if you're granted cancellation of removal or adjustment of status in front of the immigration judge, USCIS has to issue a green card. I've had clients just get it, but in general, you're supposed to make an Infopass appointment, show up in person, they do whatever they do, and then you get your green card. So it is all a self-scheduling tool, they're calling it. And basically, you fill out an online form, you say, here's the date and time that I want it. I haven't, honestly, this came out yesterday. I haven't even tried the online form yet. So I don't know if you get to put in multiple dates, but you get to tell them what date you want, but that's not going to be your date. That's just your preference. USCIS will then contact you. We don't know how long yet. That will confirm the date and time. They'll give you either that date and time if they have it, or something that will be shortly available, hopefully. I have a feeling. Oh, and let me put up the link on Instagram. I can't do this. Actually, I could put it in the comments, but it's kind of difficult because it's high up there. But for Instagram, I'll put this in the comment section when I am done. But essentially, on Facebook, YouTube, I just put up the website you go to make the appointment, which is myuscis.gov/appointment. Pretty simple to remember. But you go there, you fill it out. In my opinion, I think the system's going to crash once people realize it. I do. But it makes it so much, if it works properly, this is going to be huge for our clients and for us, because it's so frustrating when a client calls and like, we won't even call USCIS anymore because there's no point. You sit on the phone and nothing happens. So, because getting to even talk to a human being is a challenge. So this is a much better preference. If you have any questions about this or anything else, as I said, our contact information, scrolling across on your screen, or Instagram, go to our bio page. And, if anybody has any experience filling out the online form, please let me know how it goes. I'll be interested. Well, we're all interested, all of us immigration attorneys, see how it goes, if the site hasn't crashed already. But I have a feeling this might be the first people are hearing about it. So if you, this is why, I got a comment on Instagram. Thank you. One of my biggest fans. I appreciate it. But yeah, let us know what your experience is. If this was a call-in show, I would tell you to call in, but it's not. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching What You Really Want to Know. Catch you next time.